Hello everyone, welcome back to English second paper class of Academic English brought to you by this virtual platform. How are you doing? I hope and believe that all of you are doing very fine. This is Simi Dango, lecturer in English, St. Gregory's High School and College. Dear boys, in our previous lecture we have been discussing about transformation of sentences. As the part of transformation of sentences, we have been discussing some rules of changing sentences from affirmative to negative and negative to affirmative. All the rules that we discussed were very common and very easy. So dear boys, in this lesson also, we will be discussing some rules of changing sentences from affirmative to negative and negative to affirmative. In this lesson, we will focus on degree also. We will try our best to solve some problems regarding degrees. That means we will change the sentences having superlative degree from affirmative to negative. So dear boys, now let's move to our lesson. So here, firstly, we have always. If we have always in our affirmative sentence, and if we want to change the sentence from affirmative to negative, then we have to use never instead of always, and we have to write down the negative form of the affirmative verb. So dear boys, now let's read what is written here. To change an affirmative sentence having always from affirmative to negative, use never instead of always and write the negative form of the affirmative verb. So here we have some example. So look at to this example. He was always punctual. So dear students, we are instructed to use never instead of always. So we are going to use never instead of always. He was never late. We will write down the sentence as usual. Subject, we have here he, then we have written was, and we are using never instead of always, and we are using the negative form of affirmative verb. Here we have punctual. We will write down late instead of punctual. Okay, dear boys, he was never late. I always tell truth. Okay, then we will write down I. For always we will write never, and here we have tell, and instead of truth we will use the negative word. Okay, I never tell lie. Okay, so in rule number 7 we have some superlative degree as our affirmative sentence. To change an affirmative sentence having superlative degree to negative, use the following structure. Firstly, we have to use no other, then next part of superlative degree, then we have to use verb, then we have to write down as, then positive form of the superlative degree, then we have to use another as, then subject of the sentence. Okay, so you will be very clear after seeing some example regarding these rules. Okay, here you can see he is the best batsman in the team. Okay, he is the best batsman in the team. So here we have a superlative degree, the best. So dear boys, the best is superlative degree here. So to change this type of sentence, firstly we have to write down no other. Here we have the structure, and while writing the sentence from affirmative to negative, we will follow this structure. Firstly, we will write down no other to write down the sentence in negative form. Then we have to write down the word after the superlative form. So we will write down batsman here. After superlative form, here we have batsman. So here we will write down batsman. And the verb, we have to write down batsman in the team. No other batsman in the team. Then the verb is. Okay. Then we have to write down as, and superlative degree, positive form of the superlative degree is good here. The positive form of the best is good. And then according to the structure we have to write down is, and the subject of the sentence is he. No other batsman in the team is as good as he. So dear boys, now let's try to change the sentence from affirmative to negative. To change the affirmative sentence having superlative degree, we have to write down no other first. We are following this structure. So here we have write down no other, and after that next part of superlative degree. Here we have batsman in the team. This is the next part of this superlative degree. Here we have superlative degree, the best. So now we are going to write down no other batsman in the team. Then write down the verb. Is the verb here. So we are writing no other batsman in the team is. According to the structure we have as and positive form of superlative degree. Okay, so the superlative degree is the best here. So the positive form of the best is good. So here we are going to write down good, and we have got another as from our structure here. And then subject of the sentence is he. No other batsman in the team is as good as he. Okay, you are the best boy in the class. Okay, so according to the structure we have to write down no other first, no other, then next part of the superlative degree. So here we have boy in the class, no other boy in the class, then the verb is, then according to the structure as, and positive degree of superlative form, the best is good, then as, and the subject is you. No other boy in the class is as good as you. So dear boys, if you want to change the sentence, negative sentence, from negative sentence to affirmative, then do the reverse only. What you need to do is do the reverse. Suppose you have no other boy in the class is as good as you. At first, cut off no other. Okay? Write down the subject. Okay? You. And then write down the verb. Okay? According to the subject, the verb will be are. Okay? And use the superlative form for the positive degree. This is good, so use best. And with the superlative degree we always use the article the. You are the best, then the subject again boy in the class. You are the best boy in the class. Okay, very easy. Just do the reverse. No other batsman in the team is as good as he. He is the best batsman in the team. Right. So if we have comparative degree in our affirmative sentence, to change the sentence from affirmative to negative, what we need to do? If we have then any other or then all other in our sentence, then to change the comparative degree we have to follow this structure. Okay, firstly we have to write down no other, then next part of any other or all other, then we have to write down the verb, then use so or as, then positive form of comparative degree, then as, then the subject. Okay, so here you can see the example. He is better than any other boy in the class. Okay, so firstly what we need to do, yes, firstly we have to write down no other. Okay, no other, and then we have to write down next part of any other or all other. Okay, write down boy in the class, no other boy in the class, then write down the verb is, as we have is here, is, according to the structure as, and positive form of comparative degree, as we have better here, we have to write down good, because good is positive form of the comparative degree, better, and then according to the structure we have got as here, and he is better than any other boy in the class. No other boy in the class is as good as him, not him. Actually, you have to write down as he. Okay? No other boy in the class is as good as he. Okay. So here we have another example. Dhaka is bigger than all other cities in Bangladesh. Okay. Firstly, we need to write down no other. Then next part of any other or all other. You see, it, here we can see all other. After all other, we have cities in Bangladesh. So here we are going to write down city in Bangladesh. No other city in Bangladesh. Then verb is, according to the structure as, then positive form of this comparative degree is big. The positive form of the comparative degree bigger is big. Then according to the structure we have got as, and then the subject Dhaka. No other city in Bangladesh is as big as Dhaka. So now in the same way, if you want to change the sentence from negative to affirmative, then just reverse the rule. Firstly, we need to cut off no other. Then we have to write down the subject first, Dhaka. Then we have to write down the verb is, and then the comparative form of the positive verb. Here we have positive verb big, so we have to write down bigger, as bigger is the comparative form of big. Big, bigger, biggest. Then we have to write down then, use all other, then the rest of the sentences, cities in Bangladesh. Okay, Dhaka is bigger than all other cities in Bangladesh. Okay, so as we have no other boy in the class is as good as he, we should write down he is better than any other boy in the class. So dear boys, if we have then in our affirmative sentence, or if we have then in our comparative degree, then to change from affirmative to negative, we have to follow the structure. Here we have a structure. Next part of then, firstly you have to write down next part of then, and after that verb according to the person and tense. Then write down not, write down so or as, then positive form of comparative degree, then as, again the subject. Okay, he is stronger than you. Okay, he is stronger than you. Firstly write down the next part of then, you. Okay, then according to this you, or according to the subject, you have to write down the verb you are. Then write down not, as or so. Okay, then use the positive form of the comparative degree, A stronger is comparative degree here. So we have to write down, we all know strong, stronger, strongest. Strong is the positive form of the verb, of adjective actually. Okay, strong is the positive form of the adjective, and then the negative, the comparative form of strong is stronger, and superlative form is strongest. Strong, stronger, strongest. So here we are going to write down the positive form. You are not as strong or so strong, and then again as okay, you were not so strong or as strong as he. Okay, okay, I am taller than you. Okay, you are not as tall as I. Okay, to change positive degree having as as from affirmative to negative, use the following structure. Firstly, use not less for the first as, and then use then for the second as. Okay, Robi and Rahat were as strong as Rakib. Okay, Robi and Rahat were not less strong than Rakib. He is as good as you. He is not less good than you. Okay. To change a sentence having less than from affirmative to negative, use not as for less and use as for than. He is less ugly than you. You said. He is not as ugly as you said. You are less good than he said. You are not as good as he said. So in rule number 12, we have 2 2. That means to change a sentence having 2 and 2 from affirmative to negative, follow the structure below. At first, use so instead of to. Then write down adjective or adverb after to. Use that and then subject. Use can or could according to the tense, and then rest of the sentences will be written. Okay? Here you see, he is too weak to walk. He is so weak that he cannot walk. The sun was too difficult for me to work out. The sun was so difficult for me that I could not work out. Okay, here you see, he is too weak to walk. Here we have written he is. For too we have written so weak, and for too we have written that. He is so weak that he, and according to the structure we have written cannot walk according to the tense. Because the sentence is written in present form, so that we have written cannot here. Okay, and here you see the sentence is written in past form, so here we have written could not. The sun was so difficult for me. The sum was so difficult for me to work out. The sum was so difficult for me that I could not work out. So dear boys, that's the end of today's lesson. If you have any problem or any type of confusion, feel free to ask me. Take care. Thanks to you all.